With only days left until Trump's fraud payment deadline on Monday, New York Attorney General Tish James is making it abundantly clear that she isn't willing to humor his efforts to delay or even wiggle out of paying what he owes. According to the Daily Beast, public records show that Letitia James has started the process of preparing to seize at least one property owned by Trump called Seven Springs. It's described as a Bruce Wayne-like mansion surrounded by 212 acres of dense woods and rolling hills, which I'm sure runs in stark contrast to the world's most ostentatious gold toilets. And while Trump still has a few days to figure out a way to come up with the funds, Letitia James doesn't seem too intent on waiting for what seems like his inevitable inability to pay. She filed the judgment in Westchester County, New York on March 6th, 2 weeks ago, according to county records. That means she effectively has a lien in place on the event that Trump tries to sell any of his properties or otherwise shift his assets to avoid having them seized. It's almost like she knows who she's dealing with. The truth is that Trump has had nearly a month to come up with the funding and even claims that he's been rejected by 20 creditors thus far, which sure is weird because we've been told that Donald Trump is a multi-billionaire and that no one does business like him and that he's got more money than God, and yet can't seem to find a single creditor willing to back him. What does that tell you? Because what it tells me is pretty clear. Of course, that does create the risk that Trump will have to look elsewhere for a creditor if he's not willing to forego his real estate assets in the US. Meaning maybe he'll seek a foreign creditor to bail him out, which would mean, in effect, that Donald Trump would be indebted to a foreign country at the same time that he's seeking to become the next president of the United States. And if you thought he was deferential to foreign powers before, just imagine if a foreign power is the sole reason that he gets to keep one of his beloved properties like Mar-a-Lago. I spoke with my Legal Breakdown co-host, Glenn Kirshner, about that exact possibility, and here's what he had to say.
Yeah, compromise. If you have somebody who has that kind of financial leverage over you, you are beholden to them for hundreds of millions of dollars, a foreign government or foreign entity or foreign actor. Just think about where that puts Donald Trump's loyalties. Can we really rely on him to do what's in the best interest of the American people if it might conflict with what's in his own financial interests when dealing with a government like Saudi Arabia? It's funny because I've been through a series of background investigations over the course of my 30 years with the federal government, both the Department of Defense when I was an Army JAG, the FBI when I was with the Department of Justice, and one of the standard questions is there anything that could serve as leverage? Does somebody live beyond their financial means? Are they susceptible to compromise or blackmail because they're in debt? The answer to those questions is you bet Donald Trump is susceptible to all of that if he is beholden to a foreign country or a foreign government to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars.
All of which is to say, if Trump suddenly comes up with the cash, that's even more reason to worry about what a second Trump term would look like, considering he wouldn't be acting in the best interest of this country. He would be acting in the best interest of whoever bailed him out in court. And more broadly, there's an important message here. Donald Trump was elected on this pretense that he's rich and savvy, and that he's going to use those skills to benefit the American people as president. Now we're seeing that not only is he not as rich as he claimed to be, but his own presidency taught us the lesson that he's also not as savvy. The guy negotiated exactly 0 deals in office that benefited the American people. He allowed himself to get rolled by foreign countries that knew that they could use him as a useful idiot, including Vladimir Putin of Russia. When COVID hit, he presided over the worst response in the industrialized world, with the US ultimately seeing 20% of the world's cases and deaths, despite having only 5% of the world's population. The guy couldn't lead a horse to water in the desert. So at this point, what's the appeal of someone like Donald Trump? His knockoff shoe brand? So good on Letitia James for not allowing Trump to do what he always does, which is to delay as much as possible to evade accountability for his own actions. Remember, no one forced Donald Trump to commit fraud. He made that conscious decision to do that all on his own. And so now he's learning a valuable life lesson. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Before you go, I need some help. Please subscribe to the channel and do your part to help grow the progressive media ecosystem. I don't do sponsorships or paid ads, I won't ask for money, but just subscribing to this channel goes a really long way, and it helps get the message out to more people. The subscribe button is right here on the screen. You can also subscribe to my Spanish language channel, which I made to reach those crucial Spanish-speaking voters. That link is on the screen too. And finally, if you want to listen to my audio podcast, you can follow that link as well. Thanks so much for watching.